Thank you for joining us again. My name is Salome with the Idaho Office for Refugees, the Refugee Speakers Bureau. And today I have the pleasure of chatting with Reshma. I have known Reshma a little bit on the side out of some of the committees that we have worked together in, but it's been such a delight just getting to chat with her a little bit. And I felt like what we were talking about would definitely enrich uh, this city and this community that we live in. So I'll just ask Reshma to go ahead and introduce herself and tell us a little bit more about who she is and what she does. Reshma.
Thank you, Salome, for having me and for reaching out. My name is Reshma. I'm from the Islamic Center of Boise. I work with the refugees, and I also do a bit of outreach on behalf of ICP.
So how long have you been doing the outreach at the Islamic Center of Boise, ICB?
Yeah, so I would say humanitarian work and outreach for the last 9 to 10 years. Since we've been here in Boise, we moved from, of course, a much bigger city, New Jersey, so Boise was something different, but we found our calling here. Great city, great people, and a wonderful, grassroots level-based organization. So it's been really great to work with all these people out there and work for the community in general.
Nice. Could you tell me a little bit more about the Islamic Center of Boise? Because I'm not sure everybody knows about it.
Right. So as you know, as a Muslims, we have the Islamic Center of Boise, and it's like any nonprofit organization. But then we deal with Muslims who come here to do their prayers. We have potlucks, we have community gatherings, and then we also help out people who are in need. We work in partnership with multiple faith-based organizations. We have a special relationship with Cole Community Church, with Nick and Laura. We have got a shed, which we both call it the shed at the Islamic Center of Boise. It's a combined effort by both these faiths. We have a great donated items out there, and we give out to people, whoever is in need. So the criteria for giving out is the poor and the needy. Wow. And we pride ourselves in that we don't do faith-based helping based on need. So those are the things that we work on. We do a lot of outreach efforts, building the bridges between different communities. We do Peace Fest. We invite people to come to our Friday service, and know us, and vice versa.
Wow.
So it's one step at a time for every person that you're able to reach out there.
Like I had said earlier, I think you're one of Boise's best kept secret.
I would say, well, there are some people who don't want to be in the limelight. I'm the one. I grew up as an introverted person, and but I always wanted to help out people. And at some time, you are just thrust in there, because you do those things. So I'm blessed to be a part of the ICB and work with the people out there and people who have supported us. That has been a wonderful journey.
So in order, if anybody has a need, the same way they would approach any other nonprofit is how they would approach?
Yes, they would approach in the same way as they would approach any other organization.
Okay, and then do you have like an intake form or some way that you screen whoever is applying for?
So we have a financial help form. It's available at the ICB website. People can download it, fill up the form, scan it, and send it to me. And then we look at what are their needs, what are their circumstances.
Okay.
And based on that, we work on them one-on-one.
And how do you get the resources to help you offer this assistance that you offer?
Sure. So we have different categories of help that we get in donations, and the donations are solely from the Islamic Center Boise community. So our work is nonprofit. None of the members who are part of the ICB team, they are paid.
So they're all volunteers?
They all volunteer. So they have all their jobs. They have their regular 9 to 5 work. They have their family duties. And on top of that, we work for ICB. So when I talk to people, with other, faith-based organizations all over the country,
Mm-hmm.
and they're surprised to learn that nobody gets paid.
Wow.
So you can imagine the dedication that people are out there running the ICB as a community. It's
Mm-hmm.
immense. Some of the people, on the ICB board of trustees, they have been here for over 25, 30 years.
Wow.
So I would say they build a mosque from scratch.
Amazing.
So that's the thing that we are trying to strive and do it here.
And have you seen a difference in the needs that have been presented, especially now with this new extraordinary time that we're living in, where
Immense. We have had calls from people who have been wanting to have food,
mm-hmm.
who have not been able to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have tried to use the online system. And so what we have done is, whatever they have ordered or whatever they have requested, things
Mm-hmm.
like food that we can get from grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
So I have ordered it from Amazon or Walmart. That's the maximum that we have used Walmart grocery.
Uh-huh.
Either we have been able to deliver it to their homes,
Mm-hmm.
or we have asked them to go and pick up the grocery
Okay.
from the Walmart pickup store. So that has been easy for us. It's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit expensive, but it's worth, especially given this social distancing rules that we are following.
Right.
So we have worked on that, and that has been really successful. People have been getting their food, and a lot of the donated items. We have volunteers out there who have been distributing it and putting it outside their home.
Wow.
We have had a few people approaching us because they have been left homeless or
Oh,
they're struggling to pay their rent. And so
right.
we are trying as best, just like all the organizations out there in Boise at this time. They're doing their best.
Right.
So that's the thing, that core thing that we work on the humanitarian front.
Amazing. Tell me a little bit about the lady that you helped who was homeless.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so we helped a lady. Her name is Janine Iyer, and I
Mm-hmm.
got a reference from Janice. There was a gentleman, Anish, who referred her, and we put her on the Roadway Hotel at Broadway. I think
Mm-hmm.
she's been there for the last 2 weeks, and I extend her stay every 3 to 4 days
Wow.
because every time her stay is getting closer, I'm reaching out and praying, okay, God, get me a good donation out there from someone so that I can extend her. And we have been doing it for the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
Now she's there. She was attacked actually in her car. So she had some fractures and she was in really poor shape. And we helped her out. Tomorrow she checks out. I still have my hope that somebody will be able to donate and we can extend her stay and we can find a place for her to stay in the long run. So I
Right.
think it's a good way to appeal now that anybody out there, if you can help out, please reach out to us.
Amazing. And how much is it to put her up at the Roadway Inn?
You mean to say every day?
Yeah.
So it's every day. In the initial first week, we paid like $64. And
Mm-hmm.
here's a good Samaritan story, I would say. So there's a front desk employee. His name is Jeremy at the Roadway Inn.
Uh-huh.
And when I texted him that, can you please give a discounted rate? We are trying to help this lady.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote, I'll give you a discounted rate only because I found Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Look at the connection, how people work, uh, how God finds his way through
Right.
his people to help out. And I'm like, so from 64 he made it to 45, and
Wow.
he's like, this is it. So I said, thank you, brother. So you
Um,
never know, goodness is all, it's everywhere around there, irrespective of what faith you come from.
that
And
is true.
yeah, so I thanked him, and I hopefully I'll get a chance to meet him one day once the lockdown gets over.
That is true. Now, I know that you mentioned that you have family in New Jersey, and how's the family doing out there?
Well,
Obviously, that's
they're doing good, mostly in New Jersey. I have some in New York, mostly from my husband's side.
hmm.
But so far they are holding up.
Okay.
They are in and they're safe. And I have families in Canada. in India. That's where I was originally, I come from. I was born there. I
Uh-huh.
did all my education from there. So they're holding well.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
so this is what I found fascinating about you. You told me born and raised Muslim,
Mm,
but you went to Christian schools?
yes, I did my schooling from a Protestant school and
Uh-huh.
then college from a Catholic church.
So you grew up holding both faiths in your hand and not having to give up one for the other.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's a blessing, it's a blessing that, you are in the tradition because
Mhm.
he wants you to be there. And there's a purpose in life that we come. And there's only this much of life that we live, and then it's time to go. So
That's true.
why not, at the end, what do I tell people? Okay, this is how much wealth I built. This is how much, I made. No, it's the things that I did. That's how people are going to remember me.
That becomes our legacy.
That's becomes a legacy. So that's what, I tell people.
Amazing. Your story is so interesting. It's kind of like the opposite of mine. I was born and raised Christian,
Mm,
and my parents put us in a private Muslim school. So we grew up, yes, holding Christianity in one hand, but also appreciating
mm,
the beauty and the challenges of a different faith and growing up with it. And there wasn't one that was better than the other.
mm,
Just options that people would either be choose to get into or were born in or and so it was interesting. So we grew up singing ginans. These are the Muslim. I don't know whether they're like songs of praise. We didn't know what they were singing,
yeah,
but we sang along for all the years that we went to that school. And every once in a while, one of them will pop up in my head. So
exactly. I grew up singing Amazing Grace. That's one of my favorite. Or singing All Things Bright and Beautiful.
right.
So and then knowing the Lord's Prayer. I think reaching out as a human being
Mhm.
and understanding that we all have similar aspirations.
Right.
Similar, we all have families, we have kids, we have a desire to give them good education.
Mhm.
So all those things come together. If only we cross that, we cross our aisle and reach our hands and say, hey, hello, how are you doing?
Right.
I think that's the first step we need to take to break that bridge.
That is very true. And that is part of what you're doing, building bridges within the community.
Yeah.
And you're not building that bridge because somebody belongs to the same faith as you or has come from the same country as you have. It's a bridge between one human being and another.
Yes. Humanity, I think humanity is the biggest faith that we need to follow.
Hmm.
You know.
Now, I remember we had planned to do something for Ramadan, but obviously the virus
Yes.
has
And
changed
I'm
everybody's mind.
disappointed. I was looking forward to it.
We won't let the cat out of the bag because I'm sure there's still next year and probably we should be able to do it then. Can you tell me a little bit of how that has changed? Because Ramadan is coming up at the end of this week.
Yes, starts on Friday, inshallah.
Mm-hmm. So, how does that change the way Muslims around the world will celebrate or will do Ramadan? Because it's a
Well,
communal process.
yes, it is, and a lot of faith-based, rituals and gatherings and festivals. These are community-based,
Mm-hmm.
meeting out people.
Mm-hmm.
That is so important. So Ramadan is definitely will be different from for so many Muslims all over the world. Like in Boise, we would have our Saturday dinner. I would say it's like a gala event where we hold a Boise, Muslims getting in there, and then we invite other faith-based organization every Saturday for, dinner. Then we have the prayers, we have the late night prayer,
Mm-hmm.
and then the last 10 days of Ramadan, a lot of the people will be at the mosque whole night. They'll be praying.
Mm.
Those things will not be there this time. So we're encouraging people to connect online. You know, reach out. As I mentioned to you, we have a organization called Shoulder to Shoulder, and
Mm-hmm.
they have offered on their platform that we can connect with people all over the U.S.
Wow.
Uh, connect with specific families and do your Ramadan and know them. So maybe God has a plan in doing this thing in a certain way this year. Maybe we should hold it a special year, and when we go back next year, we can thank for all that we take for granted.
For all the connections that we're able to make as human beings.
Exactly, exactly. So it will be different for sure.
So if somebody's interested in sharing a meal with a Muslim who's going through this holy month of Ramadan, do they just go to
Yes,
shouldertoshoulder.com and
they
register?
can knock in, they can put in their name, they can put in their preference, which
Mm.
state they would like to connect with,
Oh,
and they
so
can put in their info.
it's
Yes,
all being
and
done online.
yes,
Okay.
so you can share your meal for 15-20 minutes, know each other, and then connect. That's what, we would have loved to hold a peace fest during this time in Ramadan, and I know we kind of planned with you all, but we'll have it soon. Maybe we can have, once this all gets over, we can celebrate for.
That is very, very true. And is your family, do you still have family in India? Are they affected?
Yes, my family is still in India. I have my parents there. I have, most of my relatives are in India. So they are there. Of course, I'm worried about my parents.
Mhm.
Age is not on their side
Mhm.
in that way, but so far, they're doing good. What I'm worried about India and in many countries like that, where we have a large number of people who are homeless,
Mhm.
who are not able to do their regular job because of this lockdown, and struggling families, just like here.
Right.
So the problems and issues are same. It might vary in, in terms of intensity or numbers, but similar problems.
Wow. Cool. And then obviously, like the rest of us, you're probably sitting in one corner of the house or you're doing shifts as to who sits at the computer. Tell me how that's working out.
So this is how it works. My husband, he has taken the upstairs office, and
Mhm.
he stole a big screen from my office as well. So he's working upstairs. His day starts like 7 in the morning. I'm here downstairs at my office. My kids are in the main hall area. They are, having their online classes, and
Uh-huh.
I think we are till like 7 or 7:30 in the evening. We are either on the phone or, online Zoom meetings. Then we have breaks in between where we, catch up a quick sandwich or maybe tea.
Right.
Uh, and things like that. So, but here's one good thing that I've seen in this lockdown.
Uh-huh.
We've been able to spend a lot of the family time together. So
Mm.
having meals together,
Right.
talking, with each other that we don't get to on a regular day, seeing each other more. I think those are the things that has been that has been good that way. More family time. We have been able to go for walks with our kids that we had, I don't know, it's been ages that we went for a walk, all four of us together.
Wow.
So those are the small things that we have found that we missed it, and we are not able to do it before.
Right. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking this time and sharing with us some of the ways that we can continue to collaborate, even though we are each, you know, stashed away in our own homes.
Hmm.
But there's still ways that we can reach out and celebrate the month of Ramadan with our Muslim brothers and sisters wherever they are here in the US.
Yes, thank you, Salome, for reaching out, for initiating this online conversation. Otherwise, I would still be lost in that grassroots level working.
No,
We wouldn't discover each other's secrets so much.
am super, super proud of what you're doing in our community. I didn't even know that the Islamic Center of Boise does that. I've always, I've always assumed that it's a mosque. And by the way, it's pretty close to where I live.
Yeah.
Where it is, but I've always assumed that it's, kind of like the mosque where people go on Friday and maybe for the occasional thing that they do every once in a while. I
Mhm.
didn't realize that it was such a robust community helping the community that it's in.
It is. It's a great diverse community, and I'm proud to be a part of the community.
Wonderful. And our lives are the richer for it.
Yes. Amen.
All right, give me just one moment.
Mhm.